Well, hello everybody. Coming to you from the man layer, which I hardly spend any time in anymore because uh well really it's because of my dogs. My hound dog is scared and won't come down to the basement, which is kind of good because he sheds a lot. And my little pug, I have two chairs down here, and she loves when I sit up there and listen to music upstairs. And so all the amenities from down here, a good turntable, receiver, good speakers, mini fridge, I have upstairs as well. And so I don't spend a whole lot of time down here. I love being down in this room, and I'm recording down here, even though it's a little wavy. You see the Motorhead poster or banner in back of me. My mom got that for me probably 25 years ago for Christmas. And, we're going to be talking about Motorhead's Lost Tapes series. It's a series of archival releases that have come out the last few years, primarily on Record Store Day. Volume 5, there are 6 volumes. Volume 5 came out available to the general public in conjunction with a box set that we're going to get to in a few minutes. I was going to show them off and show them off in order of release, and then I thought maybe showing them off uh, uh, by the tours that they came from. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to rank them. There are 6 of them, and I've wanted to do this video for a while. I'm glad I waited because then I was able to do the newest one. I have notes on all of them. I actually took notes. So I guess without further ado, let's get started at number 6. So first of all of these, or almost all of them, say, oh yeah, here, high fidelity live recording. That has to be some sort of tongue-in-cheek thing because these are all soundboard recordings, and I do keep in mind that Motorhead was notorious because of the volume they played at. They played at 120 decibels or more. They were difficult to record live, and depending on the venue, it didn't come out all that great. And so that's really where I'm going to start. Um, I'm glad that there's a document of this tour. This is volume 3, live in Malmo, Sweden, from 2000. It was recorded November 17th, 2000, in Malmo on the We Are Motorhead tour. The lineup was Lemmy, Phil Campbell on guitar, Mickey D on drums. For a similar show, I have some of those written down here as far as what's available in other live documents. The set list is very similar to the 25 in a Live Bone Shaker DVD and 2 CD set because this was Motorhead's 25th anniversary. The sound quality on here, it gets better as it goes on. And the thing is, it's a decent set list, but the sound is, oh my God, it's atrocious, especially on side 1. It wasn't dialed in at all, and so what you're hearing is what you got that night at the venue. Um, all the liner notes on these are pretty similar. They're pretty cool. You don't get a ton of stuff, but um, excuse me. It starts off with "We Are Motorhead," goes into "Bomber." Pretty much everyone ends with "Overkill." Orgasmatron is on here. Broken songs that aren't available on a lot of the other ones. Um, Damage Case. So the set list was pretty solid. So really, my gripe and the reason this is as low as it was released in 2022. Um, the sound quality on Volume 3, not good at all. So that's why that one is 6th out of 6. Number 5, this one is better recorded. This was the one that was released to the general public, not just the Record Store Day fanatics like me and some of you out there. Volume 5, the Live at Donington Download Fest. So it used to be the just Castle Donington Fest. Now they call it the Download Fest. I believe they have for some years. This one is a lot shorter. Being a festival show, being playing in the afternoon, early evening. Um, so, Volume 5 was recorded June 13th, 2008 at Castle Donington. On the, even though it's from 2008, it's still the very bitter end of the Kiss of Death tour. Again, it had Lemmy, Phil Campbell, Mickey D. The sound quality is considerably better on here. Um, Donington was always, there are some great live records over the years by a lot of heavy metal bands that were recorded there. I saw them twice on this later this year after Motorizer had come out. And so there were a couple of extra songs, but this is pretty close to the set list that I saw. Open with Dr. Rock, the old Warhorse, Stay Clean, Be My Baby, Killers, uh, Metropolis, Over the Top, One Night Stand. Interesting cover of Rosalie by Thin Lizzy. Lemmy and Phil were extremely good friends, and so that was Lemmy's way of paying tribute to Phil and Thin Lizzy. In the Name of Tragedy, Just 'Cause You Get to Power, Going to Brazil, Killed by Death, Ace of Spades, and Overkill. The last two songs feature a former member of the band on lead guitar with them, co-lead guitar. Wurzel, Mick Burston was the special guest here, which was really cool. And this, I believe, was the last time that he shared the stage with them. Feel free to courteously correct me if I'm wrong on that. Um, so it's a good set list, not great, fairly predictable given the time. Um, yeah, Kiss of Death was never one of my top 5 or 8, was whatever Motorhead records. The songs are good live. So anyway, coming in at number 5 is Volume 5. And so number 4, this is really interesting because I've basically heard this show since the days of, dare I bring it up, Napster. I always use Napster to basically bootleg the bootleggers. And for those of you watching who don't remember it from the late 90s and early 2000s, it was an online international music file sharing website. But it broke every possible copyright law you could imagine. And it was basically taken out of commission, spearheaded by Lars from Metallica. It was no big loss to me, but I had a few shows that I thought were pretty good, and a few bootleg albums that I never was able to recover. I was, however, able to recover similar show to Volume 6 that just came out this year. Volume 6 was recorded December 14th, 1992 in Berlin, Germany on the March or Die tour. This one had Lemmy, Phil Campbell, Wurzel, McBurston, and this was Mickey D's first full tour with the band. He really brought a lot of high energy, and it's a lot heavier with Mickey on drums. He's a fantastic drummer. He's a hard hitter. And I say that I've heard this show for 25 years because, and this is we'll just call it an unofficial, semi-legal release. Motorhead, Germany, 1992. This was recorded in Offenbach, Germany on December 10th. So just a few days before Volume 6. It's basically the same set list, except they took out one of the songs, and if I was to go through them all, I would find it quick. This has one less song than this does. Or the other way around. I had it written down on a separate sheet of paper. Should have done my homework better. Apologies for that. So, it's a really good show. The sound quality is so-so on it. But it's interesting because Hellraiser is on here. Love Me Forever from the 1916 record. They did basically the record company kind of wanted them to go more commercial. They were on a major label for the March or Die record in 1916, and after that they were not anymore. And you could not find two more opposite people than Lemmy Kilmister and Ted Nugent, and yet they covered Cat Scratch Fever. And so there's a cover of Cat Scratch Fever on here. Side D, actually begins with Overkill, has dual guitar solos, then goes to Cat Scratch Fever and ends with Ace of Spades, which very interesting way of ending the show. To me, it's a little anticlimactic. I think this other one did the same thing. Yeah. And so, there are a lot of similar songs that Motorhead played on every single tour. And I like Ace of Spades quite a lot. I have the 40th anniversary box set up there. To end that with the versus Overkill, you know. But overall, pretty decent. I'm glad I picked it up. But again, the sound quality is almost identical. The set list, barring one song, is identical. The performances, really, really close here. They were well tuned in together. So at number 4, Volume 6. At number 3, let's see here. This is Volume 2, I believe. Yes. Live at the University of East Anglia, Norwich, on October 18th, 1998. This is on the Snakebite Love Tour. This had Lemmy, Phil, and Mickey. And a similar show is the official 2 CD 3 LP live set, Everything Louder Than Everyone Else, that was recorded in Hamburg the previous May 21st, 1998, which I remember buying when it came out. I still have to this day. I've got the CD that I had, the 2 CD set, and I've got the vinyl of it. And so, because they knew it was a professional recording, the sound quality is a heck of a lot better on that one. This one is pretty cool. It opens with Bomber, as many of these do, Over Your Shoulder. I love that song. And then from uh, uh, from the Snakebite Love album, it has Take the Blame, it has Love for Sale, and that's it. And it ends, of course, with Ace of Spades and Overkill. And in between, The Chase is Better Than the Catch, Nothing Up My Sleeve, Born to Raise Hell. This is where they started bringing back some of the Brian Robertson years. Shine is on here, so that's pretty cool. Dead Men Tell No Tales. Stone Dead Forever off Bomber. So, pretty diverse set list. So, I don't know if I've talked about it a whole lot. From the early 90s to the mid 2000s is kind of my sweet spot for Motorhead. Always has been. I think that's because it's where I got into the band. My first Motorhead CD was a live album from '88, and then my first 2 studio CDs that I bought, Snakebite Love was the first one, and March or Die was the second one. And so I've always kind of had a sweet spot for that era of Motorhead, and that was when I was in junior high school and early college. And yeah, so anywho, really good set list. The sound quality on here, I mean, Volume 3 I disqualified as number 6 right away because the sound quality was so bad on it. This is a step up. It's not great, but the performances, it's solid enough, and the performances on here are pretty cool. So, and it's from the era that I really love. Now, numbers 2 and 1, they could be, they could switch back and forth. I had always wanted a live album from the Sacrifice tour. So the very first lost tapes that came out back in 2021 is from the Sacrifice tour. And it was recorded June 1st, 1995 in Madrid, Spain. And it has Lemmy, Phil, and Mickey on it. Wurzel recorded Sacrifice, but didn't play a whole lot on it, and after that he took off. So this was the first tour back as a trio for the first time since '83. And it's loud. Like, it just, the recording of this was loud. The sound quality is loud. It's It actually opens with Ace of Spades, closes with Overkill, has from Sacrifice, it's got Sex and Death, Over Your Shoulder. From Bastards, it's got On Your Feet or On Your Knees and Liar. And then I'm So Bad Baby I Don't Care, Metropolis. All those 7 songs just on side 1 alone. Um, Side B, Stay Clean, Burner, Orgasmatron. Then Dogface Boy from Sacrifice and Born to Raise Hell from Bastards. Side C, Nothing Up My Sleeve off Orgasmatron, Lost in the Ozone from Bastards, The One to Sing the Blues from 1916, You Better Run from March or Die, and then the title track, Sacrifice. And then side D, it gets really interesting. They do as they always did, going to Brazil on the studio record 1916 was it was an up tempo rock and roll song. It's just brutal here. It's Blitzkrieg, and then Killed by Death, and then they do not the full version of it, but an awesome snippet of Silver Machine from Lemmy's time in Hawkwind, and that's pretty awesome. And then they do Iron Fist and Overkill to close it. And Iron Fist is like the little brother to Ace of Spades, so it's a very similar vibe. Yeah, this. The only downside, and maybe the reason I put it at number 2, even though I said it could be number 1, the tape ran out or phased out at the end of Overkill, so you don't get the entire performance. You get the 3 verses, but you don't get the entire performance. It cuts off. So that's my only complaint here, is this, of all of them, this is the one that probably makes you feel at most like you were at the show. And then number 1, another German album, Volume 4, recorded December 29th, 1984 in Heilbronn, Germany, on the No Remorse tour. So this was the first tour out with Lemmy, Phil Campbell, Wurzel, and Pete Gill of Saxon had come into the fold for the new tracks on No Remorse. Played here. I love his additional drum fills on here. It's, of all the versions of Overkill, it's probably my favorite. Side D is No Class, Motorhead, Bomber, and Overkill. And they are breakneck speed, but they don't lose any musicianship. I normally don't do this in videos, but I'm going to read the whole thing off. Iron Fist, Stay Clean, Heart of Stone, The Hammer, Metropolis, one of the new songs, Steal Your Face, which is in my top 10 Motorhead songs, Nothing Up My Sleeve, which would be on Orgasmatron later, the introduction to We Are the Road Crew, then that song, Bite the Bullet, The Chase is Better Than the Catch, Shoot You in the Back, Jailbait, Killed by Death, Ace of Spades, No Class, Motorhead, Bomber, and Overkill. And I do Friday Night Live almost every Friday. And when I pick a Motorhead live album, and they've got over 15 now, I think, between what was released while Lemmy was still with us, and then, archival releases. Part of the reason I'm doing this separately is I was going to rank all the live Motorhead albums, the official ones. There's just so plentiful that, and I don't have coffee or tea or anything stronger here to help my parched throat. It's too much. The video would be an hour long, and I would be sick of talking, and you certainly wouldn't be happy to sit and watch the whole thing. So anyway, number 1, Volume 4, live in Heilbronn, Germany. I mentioned earlier about a box set, and it was an interesting box set because it's a CD box set. And yes, the shrink wrap is still on here. I've never actually opened this. I've streamed all of these. This goes through number 5. 6 had not been released yet because this is from last year. So it has the only one that's a single disc is the Live at Donington, the shorter set list. All the rest are Heilbronn is disc 7. So the first 3 are 2 disc sets. They were long enough shows. I haven't listened to it, so I cannot speak 100% to the sound quality, but I've streamed them while at work, and the sound quality is what's on the vinyl here. So I appreciate you watching, paying attention, hopefully. Please, if you have these, rank them. If you have some of them, rank them. If you don't have any, maybe tell me why. Um, and as mentioned, they were record store day releases, except for Volume 5 and this box set. So you can get, if you're a physical media person and you still do CDs like I do, you can get the first 5 here. And it was $60 at my one of my 2 locals. And so there you have it, Motorhead: The Lost Tapes series review. And yeah, every one of these performances is strong. So a lot of it comes down to set list and sound quality for me. But I love all these, and I'm really glad they exist because some of them, there have been no live documents or only snippets from certain tours. So I hope you had fun watching. I look forward to interacting with you in the comments below. Please be courteous and take care of yourselves, and we'll talk soon.